Alright, what you see here is a Wort chiller. It's basically copper tubing. Back when copper was much cheaper, I bought all of this. It's coiled in such a way so that I'll be running cold water from the faucet of the utility sink into here. Okay, it'll travel all the way down through all the coils. And as it does, the cold water will pick up heat from the hot wort. The goal is to get the wort chilled as quickly as possible. So this is going to pick up the heat, and then it comes back up out and into the other utility sink. Right, so that's the goal. We're going to fill the utility sink with cold water as well, so it'll be a double effect. So the idea is to get it chilled as quickly as possible. It enters a danger zone. The wort enters a danger zone where other wild airborne yeast and bacteria can get in the beer, and they basically win the fermentation contest, and they contribute a lot of off flavors. So you want to get this chilled as quickly as possible. So that's going to be our next step. It came really clean. It looks brand new, but really it's not. It's a few years old. It came really clean with Barkeeper's Friend. So this will be our next step. I'm going to be sanitizing it by placing it in the hot wort as soon as the boil is done. So here in about 10 minutes this goes directly in. That will in effect sanitize this, so I'm not too worried about the wort chiller. So next step will be taking the wort down to the basement. I'm going to be unplugging the camera, and hopefully it's got enough battery to access without being plugged in. Alright, well, we've reached a pretty critical phase in the process. We need to get this wort chilled as quickly as possible. Ideally we want to get to the temperature where we can actually pitch the yeast, which is just a fancy word for put the yeast in. So we've got this chiller set up. I already showed you the immersion chiller. It's called immersion chiller because you immerse it into the wort. Okay. The idea is that you run cold water through here, goes down through, picks up the heat, and the hot water will come down through here and into this other sink. So let's get it started. I actually have a little bit of a leak here. All right, the water coming out of here is pretty warm, but if we slow it down, it'll give it time for it to pick up more heat. Now it's hot coming out of there. Right, so this is just taking the heat. The water entering here is pretty cold too, because that's very hot. It's winter, and the ambient temperature of the water is very cool. We also have a water bath going on in here, which is heating up rapidly as well. So we're pulling a lot of heat away from this as quickly as we can. I'm also going to put the brew pot lid on top just to avoid, to prevent anything from falling in. It's not going to be a perfect fit, but it'll have to do. So hopefully within about a half an hour this will be as cool as we can get it, and we'll go from there. Okay, well the chilling is it's done, really. It's been chilling for just about a half an hour, and I have emptied the utility sink of water just once and refilled it with more cold water. This combined with the immersion chiller seems to have been very effective, because in only a half an hour I have reached a temperature of 68 degrees. I have never been able to get down to that kind of temperature that quickly before. So we are definitely at pitching temperature. So we're now ready to remove this from remove the chiller, take the brew pot and the wort upstairs, and transfer it to the carboy, the fermentation vessel. So that's going to be our next step. All right, water coming out of here is pretty cool now. So it could possibly chill it even farther. I have no idea how far it would go with this setup. This is the first time I've used it. It seems to have worked really well. Also, forgive the appearance of the basement. We just bought this place, and we're going to be fixing it up. We're in the process of doing that. I think this could be like a purpose-built brewing area down here in this part of the basement. So next step, we're going to be taking this upstairs and transferring it to the fermenter, which is called racking. That's next.